Morning, everybody. This is a surprise impromptu share what I started playing with last night. I don't have any more of the wire that I used to create these gals, but I do have some other lighter weight wire that I figured I could use as an example. Um, and what I'm going to do is these are going to be a project that I put all of these together as friends come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. And that's going to be the theme of my project. Um, and each one of these has her very own personality. Hi, Teresa. This one's a little busty and about average height. And then I've got this gal who's real thin and real tall. And I wanted them to look like they're dancing together, maybe around a fire or, something like that. So I've got different shapes, and the color will come in after I put paper mache on them, which I'm going to use paper mache mix that I got at the thrift store and little strips of newspaper. The reason I do that is the strips help hold the paper mache in place. And then you can actually sand paper mache to get your shapes the way you want them. My figures do not have fingers. You could form fingers with your wire, and I'll show you how that is. The only reason I didn't on these is I thought it would be too difficult with the gauge of wire that I was using. So I'm just going to set these ladies over here. Then this one was actually a little animal. When I ended, it was just a head with 4 legs. And then I got to thinking it could be just a smaller little lady. And she's a little heavier, a little shorter. She's got some booty, that I'm going to shape out better when I get to the paper mache bit. But like I said, I want these gals to be all shapes and sizes because friends come in all shapes and sizes. And this was the first one I did. And I'm going to mount these ladies on a board. They're going to be an actual display on their own. So this she's a little round she's my big bottom girl, but she loves to dance too. So I'm trying to get different shapes of bodies all around. So let me show you what I did to get them to this point. So you're going to need wire, masking tape, and some different pliers. This wire is not as stable as that black wire I used under those. Oh, and you're also going to need some aluminum foil. And I wish this was a cheaper brand aluminum foil. This is the heavy duty stuff. Greg bought it to, use on the grill. But if you go to Dollar Tree and just get Dollar Tree aluminum foil, it's so much easier to crumble into shapes. Hi, Angie. So when I saw Mary wasn't on, I said, I'm going to go on because Kathy Whitney had requested that I do a video on these ladies. I do have some wire cutters. I just want the other wire cutters, maybe some round needle nose, and then some just regular pliers. So I'm going to start with the red. If I run out, it really doesn't matter what color the wire is. You're not going to see the wire. Mary is sleeping, I guess, because she put up a message that she wasn't going to be on this morning. So I said, well, I'll do this video for Kathy. The black wire I used was a lot harder to bend. This is really easy to form. So I start with the head. We're not going to worry about the tape just yet. I start with the head. And I'm going to use the needle nose pliers just to get a curve on the very end of this. And the shapes are just created randomly. All right, so this is her head. I might make it a little bit bigger because I want to wrap this wire here around. Uh-oh. There we go. And I just work at it until I get an oval shape. I'm going to squeeze that flat. And this wire bends so easy. Now, this wire came from Michael's in their floral department. All right, now I'm going to give her just a short neck, maybe just a little short neck on this one, and bend at a 90-degree angle. All right, we'll come out, we'll do an arm, and then turn it back on itself, and then wrap this piece back to where the neck joined. And I just wrap it a couple times to get it back to her neck. And then you can manipulate the little loop for the hand any way you want to. You can make the hand smaller. All right. Let's see if I can go around one more time. All right, so you make like this. So that's one arm. Her arms are pretty long. I could have shortened that arm. Oh well. She's going to be a tall girl. I need to shorten that, I think, because I don't want her to be excessively tall, because then she won't fit in the because that one doll I've already made is pretty tall. Now this wire, it may break because I'm trying to over manipulate it, but I didn't pay much for this wire, so I'm not really too concerned about that. And it doesn't matter if it looks a little gnarly because it's going to get covered. Don't be afraid to get brutal with the wire. It doesn't. It's just your base. All right. That's a little bit more in a good size. We're going to do the same thing and create another arm out the other side. So I need to come out to about right there. And just bend it around that again. And then twist it back to her neck area. One more time. And we can shape her up more, in a minute. Now I'm going to bend it down and give her the center of her body. And now we're going to form some legs the same way we did the arms. So this is what you have so far. Hi, Peg and Angie and Teresa. I'm trying to get used to the early birds time of getting up. And since Kathy had asked if I would do this for her, I was like, oh, I could do that right now since Mary's not on. All right, so I'm going to bend again and come down and give her a foot. So there's a thigh, a knee, come down, bend it, make a little foot here. How big do I want her to be, though? Let's see here. And it doesn't matter how they turn out because they'll develop their own character as you go along. Each one of my originals that I did last night is very unique. And then I just twist this back up to her hip zone, like so. And there's one leg. And you can manipulate that some more. So she's got a leg, her knees somewhere in here, and her foot. So now we need to do it again, but on this side. And of course, I've got a cat wanting in off the porch. Let's see if I can get her foot to be about the same size. I did not. What's the news about Hobby Lobby? Are they going bankrupt or something? Are they coming out with something else that's derogatory and negative? That I quit shopping there because I want to be supportive of my niece and her wife. All right, and I'm going to clip this tail of wire off. And I just grab it. This wire's really easy to bend. All right, so I just bent that wire so that the tip isn't going to be in the way. The CEO is giving it away. Oh, wow. So here we go. And while she's in wire form, you can manipulate her even after you get some tape involved. Once the plaster goes on, you're not going to be able to move it. So the reason for the foil now is to give your body some shape. So I just crumple this up like this, and then you just wrap it around her midsection. Be a little bit on her arm. And again, if you used the really cheap aluminum foil, it might be a little better. And I just pinch it down until it's tight to the wire. On my big bottom girl, I actually made a cage to hold the foil in place with the wire. All right, that gives her an interesting shape that's not like the others. Like so. So now she's got a little body. Squeezing the foil in tight. All right, so now she's got a little body here. Like so. And then you want to put a little piece inside the ring where her head is. Oh, bye, Angie. I'm just going to get a little bit more foil. Oh, interesting. See if I can flatten this at all and get it to fit. All right, so put that in there. And then I'm just going to cover the whole thing. I thought about even doing like wires up for hair, but then I said, well, maybe I'll just use yarn for hair here. But you can do whatever you want with the wire up until the time you get it covered in plaster. So your base can be any shape you make it. So now she's got a head here. Now you just cover the whole thing with tape. And I use little pieces of tape. And I just start covering everything with the tape. And in the next part, I will have already put plaster on my 4 original ladies. And I'll do this in a day or two. I'll do part 2, showing how I'm going to put the plaster on. And I'll get my examples done. And then we'll come back and we'll put plaster on this gal. But you just keep putting tape over her. And when you get to small places, you might have to use even smaller pieces of tape to get it to lay smooth. I'm going to cover the wire, everything with tape. And this tape has been aggravating me when I try to use it for anything else. So oh, that's cool. I might do that on a future project, but for this one, I'm just going to stick with some wild yarn hair. I need a pair of scissors. I'm just going to snip this masking tape so it'll form around a little bit. Just do a little snip in her armpit. Maybe a little snip right here. And then I can just fold it down nice and smooth. These are fun to make. They work up pretty easy. You can make them look any way you want. I'm going to get Scott to cut me a piece of wood for a stand, and then I'll just use like some way to, hold them to it. Hi, Ray. Good morning. Yeah, I saw Mary's message that she was not going to be live this morning, so I said I can jump on and share my little wire ladies real quick, like see if anybody else wants to participate with just making some. It's not a swap or anything. It's just something fun to do. But they will definitely need some way, to be held up. They're not balanced. They're dancing. So they need to be able to move. In fact, she needs more dancing shape. Let's turn her feet back to the front so she doesn't. That one can be the one that she's standing on. See if I can bend her knee to go back a little bit on this leg. I'm just going to grab it, bend her knee. There we go. See, now she looks like she's dancing a little. I'll bend this arm because I don't have tape all the way down it yet. There we go. Now she's got her groove on. She looks like she's dancing. And I can finish the taping. I understood what you meant, Peg. Sometimes typing is difficult first thing in the morning. I have not eaten breakfast yet. And Scott said the sausage tasted funny this morning, so I threw it in the trash. I'm telling you, the shelf life on the food these days is horrible. I'm still planning to come on at noon today to do the blue. I think are we on? Yeah, we're on the blue page in our Rainbow Happy Meal journals. I saw Janet Nash did a green page in her journal, which was really cool looking. She's probably off walking Freddie right now. Got to get her to be groovy. Exactly. This is the most time consuming, I think. The plaster actually goes faster than this for me because I use thin strips of newspaper. There, I wish I could remember the channel. There's a paper mache lady that I love to watch, and I will put her link in my description box. I can't remember the channel right at this moment. But if you're into paper mache, you probably know who I'm talking about. I think it's the Real Paper Mache. She does some really cool things. She's been trying to work out a way to make them more water stable so that she could have them like out in the yard and such, which I think that could be so fun because you could make like jungle animals and then stick them in your bushes, like have a zebra out there in the yard or a rhino. I love to do 3D stuff. I just do. I just always have. I always like to do the sand castles at the beach or make a big sea turtle out of sand, that kind of thing. Mermaids and that thing. Oh, yeah, angels for the holidays. That would be good. We do have a bunch of holidays coming up. Holiday season. I really hope it turns some attitudes around. It's a shame we can't keep the holiday season feelings. The feels. Keep those holiday feels all year round. Because I don't know about y'all, but people have gotten ruder and ruder and ruder. I hate to leave the house. The level of rudeness is just awful. So I will probably paint fingers and stuff instead of trying to form them. All night long, my brain was working on how can you make fingers? So I woke up thinking about fingers this morning. Good morning, Dana. Um, yeah, I was like, I could put fingers on them. And then this morning I was like, nah, not so much. Not feeling the fingers this morning. And don't worry if your tape doesn't stay completely stuck down, because by the time you've gotten layers of paper mache, it's not going to the tape's not going to matter once it's coated in paper mache. It just gives you a nice surface for the paper mache to grab to. So I just keep going until she's all covered in tape. Like so. I had even thought about making these like little witches for Halloween, but then I got to thinking, then I couldn't enjoy it year round. It would have to wait till next Halloween. So if I just make this some ladies having fun at a bonfire or something, dancing, that could be better. There was a couple displays at the fair. I got a video of one of the pieces, and the other one was the one that I really liked, but Scott was talking to me and I forgot to tape it. But they had a like shadow box form divided into 9 individual blocks, and inside each one they had different little clay characters. In one part of my video, when I was filming the best in shows on the art side, they had another display with little clay characters that were just, they looked like flat people, like Gumby. And it was titled COVID 19 Zoom calls, and each window contained different things, different little visuals of looking inside a meeting occurring during that time. I thought it was really a unique idea, and I'm glad one of their pieces made it to best of show pile. How the displays were put together was just kind of odd at times. Scott and I were noting that it was kind of an odd way to put the art out. I would have thought they would have put more kind of like things near each other, but it was very random. All right. I'm going to get off here as soon as her legs are covered, and I'll bring my little group of women back. And I will not put paper mache on this one until I do the next video, but I will go ahead and get paper mache done on the others because it would take too long to do all of them. I'm one that likes to have an example to show so you can see where a project's going to go as I'm doing it. I like to have something that's a visual, instant visual. So I'm going to do my other pieces, which I will bring back, and we can put all the girls together here in a minute. And you can layer this tape up and get, thicker thighs or whatever you want. You can add as much tape as you want. My plan was to just use this tape. I can't use any other way up. And I'm using wire up from my stash. My focus is to use up what I have because I have so much stuff that I need to use it or donate it because it's not doing me any good just being, supplies in a cupboard. I'd love to use 50% of my fabric before I buy anymore. The only exception I'm going to make to that is if I find a really good deal at like Goodwill, because that denim for my bib overalls, which today is overall day. Did you guys know that? I'm probably going to put my overalls on later. I'm still in PJs. I shouldn't admit that, but I didn't feel like getting dressed right away. I will need to get dressed though, because I got to clean house a little bit before I go live. Do some of the old housework. Joy. I'm thrilled about the housework, can you tell? And I was thinking I would make clothes for these dolls. So I'm going to paint them nude and then give them fabric clothes to wear, because I have tons of things I can make little clothes out of. So instead of having paper mache clothes that are painted on them, I think I'm going to make them different outfits so that each one has its own character. They'll be all different flesh tones, because friends come in all shapes and colors and sizes, and I want to celebrate the uniqueness. I don't know the size. It's this was some floral wire. See how easy it bends? Now the wire I used on my original ladies is the thick black wire you get in the jewelry section. But this stuff that I got out of Michael's floral department at Christmas, I had green, red, and gold, I think, and maybe blue. But this is all I have left of it. And it just comes out and they stick it on a power panel. I don't know the gauge. It's pretty thick. And the black wire I used was stronger than this, but a smaller gauge. So this girl's bones are even a different color. I guess we could think about that. Just working the tape around. It's pretty thick wire, and the jewelry wire was a lot harder to bend. This was actually easier to create the forms because I could bend it by hand. Those others, I really had to rely on the tools to get them made. I just think it would be fun to have a group of ladies dancing together. And doing things dimensionally is fun too. You could even make them be non-flesh toned. You know, you could have a blue lady, a green lady. They're your creation. You do whatever you want. I just thought this would be a fun project. I need to put a little piece around her neck to cover this little bit, right? there. Didn't quite go all the way around. But I think we're going to call this pretty good. All right, so she'll be hopping on one foot like this. Let's see if I can bring the gang back. I have a method here. So if I have that, my seam ripper there holds the big bottom girl up. Let's try this again. Let's get her. Come on, girlfriend. Stand up there. I had you stood up earlier. All right, she stood up. I can put this tall, skinny girl here. Stick her foot under the tape so she'll stand up. Chesty here. Our chesty girl will stick over here. This one's going to be hard. And then my booty lady, we'll balance her on her tummy here. So there. That's all of them. This is the one we just did. So that's how you make your base before you put the paper mache on. And part 2, I will put paper mache on this one, and these guys will all have the other ones will all have their paper mache on. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope this will get everybody started making some interesting dollies. Have a great day. See some of you at noon. Bye.